Hello class, this is lesson 16.1, justifying circumference and area of a circle. So for many of you, this might be a review lesson where we talk about the circumference of a circle and the area of a circle using two formulas. So to start with, we're going to look at what is the circumference formula of a circle. And we're going to look at this diagram here. So when we want to find the circumference of a circle, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the length of the entire circle. Imagine if you have a piece of string and you wrap it around a circle. That's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the length of the circle. So the formula that we use, there are two types of formulas. One, if we're given the diameter, and remember the diameter of a circle is a chord that goes through the center point. So this right here, and the other formula uses the radius, which is half the diameter. So from the outer edge to the center point. So if we are given the diameter, the formula for the circumference is pi, which if you remember is 3.14 times the diameter. Or if we're given the radius, our formula is 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, so let's look at one example. This is a real-world problem. So a Ferris wheel has a diameter of 40 feet. What is the circumference? Round to the nearest tenth. Now, they give us the diameter. We could use this formula, so pi times the diameter. They chose to use 2 pi r, but in order to use this formula, we have to remember that the radius is half the diameter. So if the diameter is 40, the radius is 20. And then we have 2 times 3.14 times 20, and we get 125.6. And that's our answer. So the length of the circle, the circumference, is 125.6. Okay, we're going to look at another example. Now in this example, what we want to find out is the radius. So a large pottery wheel has a circumference of 12.56 feet. What is the diameter in inches? So we could do this a couple ways. If we use this formula, C equals 2 pi r, we can plug in values for C and for pi. So 12.56 equals 2 times 3.14 times r, and we could solve for r by dividing both sides by 6.28. r equals 2. Now if the radius is 2, we know the diameter is double the radius, so we get 4. Okay, so for the first part of this lesson, it was mainly about circumference. So if you want to pause the video here and give yourself a couple minutes to work on these problems, then press play to look at the solution. Okay, for number 1, the circumference of a tree is 20 feet. What is the diameter? Round to the nearest tenth of a foot, use 3.14 for pi. So the formula that I want to use C equals pi d. C is equal to pi times the diameter. Then I know the circumference is 20, so I have 20 is equal to 3.14 times d. What I could do is I could divide both sides by 3.14, and the diameter would be whatever 20 divided by 3.14 is. So I get 6.37 if I round it to the, actually, if I round this to the nearest tenth, I would get 6.4. feet. Okay, next. The circumference of a circular fountain is 32 feet. What is the diameter? Round to the nearest tenth of a foot. Use 3.14 for pi. So I'm going to use the same formula here. C is equal to pi times d. C is 32, and that's equal to 3.14 times d. Divide both sides by 3.14. And 32 divided by 3.14. Rounded to the nearest tenth is 10.2. So d is equal to 10.2 feet. Now a shortcut, I just want to tell you guys there's a shortcut formula, and that is if I was to just divide pi to both sides, to find the diameter, it's just the circumference divided by pi. And that's what we did here. Circumference divided by pi is equal to the diameter. Okay, so now that we talked about circumference, we're going to be talking about the area. The area of a circle is the area inside the circle. And the formula that we use for area is pi r squared. So here is the formula. The area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Now let's look at this example. A slice from a circular pizza measures 9 inches in length. What is the area of the entire pizza? Use 3.14 for pi, round to the nearest tenth. So if we're looking at a slice, and the slice measures 9 inches in length, that's going to be our radius. So r equals 9. So plugging in 9 into this formula, we have pi times 9 squared. 9 squared is 81, and 3.14 times 81 is 254.3. So now if we want to use this previous answer to answer this next question, we can. If the entire pizza cost $18, how much does it cost per square inch of pizza? So what we're doing is we're trying to find dollars per square inch. Anytime you see the word per, that means you're dividing. And what we want to do is write it as a fraction. Dollars divided by square inch, and that's why they write it in this form. $18 divided by 254.3 inches. So if we divide 18 divided by 254.3, we get 0.07. So each square inch of pizza costs 7 cents, and that's what this problem means. Okay, next, if you want to pause the video here and try the your turn problem below, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding the area of a swimming pool given the diameter. So The diameter of the swimming pool is 20 feet. To the nearest square foot, what is the smallest amount of material needed to cover the area of the surface of the pool? So let me write diameter is 20. Now, if you know the diameter is 20, the radius would be half the diameter, so the radius should be 10. And you want to use this formula. Area is equal to pi r squared. And you're going to plug in 10 for the radius. So 3.14 times 10 squared. Now that is 3.14 times 100. 3.14 times 100 is 314. So the area would be 314 feet. A common mistake students sometimes do is they plug in the diameter instead of the radius. So just have to be careful when you're reading the problem if they give you the radius or the diameter. And so in this problem, they give us the diameter, which we knew we had to cut in half to get the radius. I do want to mention that there's an alternative formula for this, and that is the area is equal to pi times half the diameter squared. So you also had this option. If you want to plug in the diameter, you just have to remember to take half and then square it and then multiply by 3.14. So that wraps up lesson 16.1. This is lesson 16.1 homework. So for these following problems, what you want to do is you want to find both the area and circumference of each circle. So let me write the formulas for each. Area is equal to pi r squared. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. And then you have the checkpoint after this homework. Thank you guys.